Hi, this is Michael Osborne, the voice of Deke from Fear Effect Sedna, and you're listening to Residents of Evil.
Hello and welcome to the Residents of Evil podcast. In this interview, Ollie and AJ sit down to talk with Michael Osborne, the new voice of Deke in Fear Effect Sedna. Michael, Ozzy, as he goes by, comes from Melbourne, Australia, and provides authenticity to the Australian assassin for the game. He's a black belt who has traveled the world. He is extremely excited to step in the role of one of the game's main three protagonists. Before we begin, I would just like to let everybody know that the ROE Podcast is available on iTunes and also on Android services like Castbox and Libsyn. Alright, with that being said, let's start the show.
Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's go ahead and start off with our rapid-fire questions here. Where are you from?
So I'm from a country town in Victoria, Australia, so that's like down under. So near Melbourne, about 2 hours away from it. And yeah, now I live in Melbourne.
So yeah, so for everybody who's listening, you can't complain about the accent. Saying this, he is Australian. This is legitimate. This is the real deal.
Yep.
G'day,
complaining, people.
Right.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
That's awesome. I love it.
Oh, good.
You've traveled to a lot of different places from what I've seen. What are some of the places you've been to?
Yeah, so I guess I'd have to call it a quarter-life crisis at some stage. I was at uni and then, university, and then I decided just to go overseas. My best mate came with me, and we did America for a few months, and then I did Europe solo. But yeah, so when I was younger, like my parents, we went to Thailand. That was like when I was 9. Ended up getting strangled by a baby elephant, but I still loved it.
Okay. Yeah, my wife is from Thailand. I've been out there quite a few times. I love it.
Awesome, nice, yeah, no, and it's an amazing place, hey.
It really is. It's awesome. It's beautiful, great people.
Yep, for sure.
Affordable. So it's definitely a place people should see at least once in their life.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, if your wife's listening, well done for throwing in great people as well. So that's perfect.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, the land of smiles.
Do you have a favorite memory from traveling?
Oh, so many. So many. I think there's a lot, because when you're Australian, it's really strange that people actually gravitate towards you. Which really feels weird because I don't feel like there's anything special about us. But
you guys have a reputation.
Yeah, in a way. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like it's like we're from Narnia or something. Just
right.
People just don't believe we exist, and then we appear and they're like, where is that wardrobe?
Right. How can I get there?
It's so good. Yeah. So
awesome.
So many times just walk into a bar and all of a sudden like there's people just inviting you to parties, like having drinks with you, and you walk out and you're like, how am I up? Like I have more money than when I left and there's no reason for it. Like I haven't done anything dodgy or weird, and why do I still have my money? But yeah, no, I just love traveling in general, to be honest. But yeah, I think there was a few times, so Vegas was kind of weird because I like it, but it's like an adult Disneyland.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous and it's
you
strange.
Get in trouble out there.
Exactly. But people...
But it's fun. It's fun, though.
It's very fun. And people just kept picking out that we were from Melbourne, and it didn't make sense, but they were just like, Converse, skinny jeans, a tight shirt. They're like, you're from Melbourne. Like, okay, thanks.
All right. Well, apparently that's just the dress code there.
Yeah, I didn't think we were that stereotypical or dressed a certain way, but I used to live in Germany for a little bit as well when I was studying there. So that's got to be one of my favorite points as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. I was trying to move out there a few years ago. I was looking at getting a job at one of the bases, and
nice.
I just didn't end up working out. But I was so excited to be around. It's a beautiful area. So,
yeah, exactly.
All the castles and all that cool stuff to see. So
so good.
What is one place you would love to travel to that you have not been to yet?
Oh, so many, so many. Oh my god. Well, I think after recording this game, I definitely want to go up, like, basically to the North Pole. because there's like so much of the Inuit culture and all of like the Inuit what's the word, like mythology, that I've now got a taste for it and kind of want to learn more about it. But I'd definitely say like the Galapagos Islands or Madagascar, just the amazing scenery. Yeah.
So either extremely cold or extremely hot.
Basically, yeah, pretty much
very tropical.
Anywhere I haven't been yet, it's on my list.
Right? Just spin the globe and pick a spot. Let's go.
Yeah, blindfold me and that one, done.
Right? Perfect. So I know that you're a black belt. I'm curious in what discipline.
Yeah, so in karate,
okay.
Yeah, so it was quite a while ago now. So at one point, I think I was the youngest in Australia.
Oh wow!
There were 3 of us, but at the time I was 12, and then I started teaching and doing adult classes and all of that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was one of those things that it's like character building, that's for sure.
Right.
And the fact that we were doing adult gradings, so like the 3-hour groups of like fighting, push-ups, and at that stage I still had puppy fat, so I was still like a chubby little kid, even though I was working out a lot.
Puppy fat.
Yeah, and it's the only way I could describe it, because I couldn't get rid of it. But yeah, we still went through all of these like awesome like experiences that the adults were going through, and yeah, it was super hard, but yeah, definitely one of the best experiences I've had too.
Has that played a factor at all in anything you've done so far as like some of your side jobs you have, or are you planning to use that maybe in live film at all?
Yeah, I have considered it before. So at one stage I was looking at potentially doing sort of like stunts and martial arts movies, but it's mostly the confidence side of things these days, because I was teaching adult classes when I was around 16, 17, as well as group fitness classes and things like that. So yeah, like being up in front of people and I guess just talking to people randomly as well, that's definitely come in.
Extra confidence.
Oh, so much more confidence. I don't know how I would have been without it. Like, I know I don't shut up as it is, but like even now we can definitely, it's so much for quick fire, rapid fire questions. Yeah, so it's definitely one of those confidence building things. Like if I put my mind to it, I can do it. So yeah.
And I see you have a degree in biomedical science, and you're also an MC. Yeah. Starting with biomedical science, what is that exactly? I personally am a biomedical engineer.
Awesome, yeah.
So I do the equipment side of medical maintenance and engineering and all that stuff. But what is the science part?
Awesome. You've definitely got a good insight into it already. So like the biomedical side of things, it's more, so you've got medical, which is, I guess, direct contact, one-on-one kind of treatment. Yeah. And then biomed, it's the background kind of biology, like the pathology of diseases, sort of research. It was more, I'm a lab rat, basically. Yeah, work in the labs behind the scenes.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, cheers.
And on the MC side of stuff, you host events and things like that, correct?
Yeah. So I have worked for a company called Quizmeisters Trivia for about 9 years now. So when I was in university, this is actually how I got into a lot of the voice acting as well. Yeah, it was, I went to university, I was there for a couple of months and I saw an advertisement and I thought, yeah, I could get up in front of people and host trivia nights, get a bit of money here and there. It sounds great.
Right.
And weirdly enough, 36 people had applied for the job, but
that's a lot.
It was quite a lot of people. And I was about half an hour to 45 minutes late because I couldn't find the venue. But luckily,
not a good start.
No, not a good start. Terrible start to my career. But so 35 people didn't show up.
Basically, then there's just like you, and like, oh, okay, well, here you are.
Yeah, exactly. They had so much choice when I got there. But hopefully they don't regret it, because now I'm working in like the headquarters section, managing as well. So in Melbourne, making sure that everything's good, hosting events as well for corporate functions. For instance, we've got some really big functions for international companies coming up where it's about 500 people, 500 or more people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we can get some really, really big ones, which are amazing to do. But yeah, we love doing the just general weekly pub trivia. So
Right, yeah.
hang out with a few people that you've never met before, have a few drinks. Well, they have a few drinks. We have to have them afterwards.
Yeah.
By the time you get up to question 15, where is the capital? You're not going to go too well after a few drinks.
Why does it take to get me another beer?
Yeah.
That's the trivia question.
And for 5 bonus points, the first person to buy me another beer. Yeah, so
That's interesting.
amazing.
We have something similar to that called Geeks Who Drink, I think is what it's called.
Cool.
And I've met them, but I've seen that they're nationwide here in the States. And same thing, they go to pubs and they go to bars and they do trivia, geeky type trivia, which is kind of cool.
That sounds epic.
Host these
Yeah.
big events. Something to look forward to if you ever come back stateside.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. My sister lives in New York, so
okay.
Generally speaking, we're in America every year at the moment, so.
Oh, perfect. Something to keep an eye out for.
For sure, yeah, Geeks Who Drink, done.
Right. So, you said this kind of led into voice acting. Do you have a favorite voice actor?
Oh, wow. That is, such a good question. I'd have to say the people that I worked with for Fear Effect Sedna, those guys were amazing. Hey, brownie points,
right.
here we go.
Shout out to the cast.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God, I can't think of anyone straight off the top. Like Robin Williams as an actor and a voice actor, because Genie always comes to mind.
Right.
But I for the life of me, it's embarrassing when you like the person's voice so much, but the guy that does the movie trailers. Oh my God!
The one I think is John Bailey, I believe. He does Honest Trailers.
John Bailey, like Honest Trailers. And
Honest Trailers. Actually, we were just talking about that last night with Matt.
Oh, excellent! Really,
he does a pretty good. He does a pretty good version of John Bailey.
Oh, I don't know if I should even try then. If that's the case, that's awesome. But
different variations. We'll put them all together.
Yeah, I don't know, because the Australian accent probably comes through, and that's a bit awkward. At least here, people can't tell the difference.
Right. It's normal for you out there.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
Ooh, wow. When it comes to movies, I still definitely have to go for The Matrix, like the original.
Nice, yeah.
I don't know, it's just one of those cult classics, but it just always... I don't know, I find myself either quoting it or something at all times. And yeah, TV show The Simpsons, because I grew up with it.
Me too.
How good is it? It's just, you learn so much from it as well.
Yeah, it's true. And then you get older and you start watching things like South Park.
Oh my God, yeah, love South Park, Family Guy, American Dad. But yeah, I think too, it's just with The Simpsons, so it's just like coffee, beer, coffee, like that thing. When it comes like picks on Australians, I'm like, yes, like I don't know why, but I love it when we're being picked on.
It's the shout outs and the little bit of jabbing at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're a bit masochistic when it comes to our sense of humor. Like we love people making jokes about us, so it's fun.
You guys also play rugby, so obviously you like the pain.
Well, yeah, it's have you guys seen Australian football, like AFL?
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh wow, okay, because it's so hard to describe and explain. So in a sense, it's kind of like rugby, but
okay,
yeah, like no padding, no anything like that. You're not allowed to throw the ball, but the tackles, are really damn hard, like seriously hard. But yeah, we're in our final season at the moment, so I think the grand final's coming up at the start of October. So if you're around an Australian bar, then I definitely recommend getting around it, because it's going to go off. It'll be nuts.
Nice. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to go to YouTube and search some videos for it.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll get confused when you watch it, because it's very hard to describe, like unless you've grown up with it. Yeah.
Right. Do you have a favorite food?
Spaghetti bolognese, yeah.
Nice. Spaghetti's awesome.
Yeah, love it.
What do you think your spirit animal is?
100% a golden retriever.
Golden retriever.
Yeah, that's how accurate. I think it sounds really weird, but I've even had to describe myself as this a few times now. Like a happy-go-lucky kind of, no expectations, loves everything, doesn't shut up, just I guess loves hugs. Pat me on the head, I'll fall asleep. Yeah, and food. Just food is life. All of those things combined. Yeah, golden retriever.
Right. I had a golden for many years, like
Awesome.
Almost 8 years.
Wow.
And I mean, he was a big part of our families.
Yeah.
He was pretty much our son for a while because we didn't have kids for a little bit, and I was deployed a lot with the military. So
Wow. Yeah.
all she had was our golden.
Yeah.
His name was Buddha, so he was like a big part of our family.
Wow.
But I remember when he was a puppy, I was talking to a trainer about getting some lessons. And he's like, "Let me tell you about a golden retriever's personality." He's like, he's the life of the party, and he's the last one at 4:00 in the morning when everybody's knocked out. That's got the lamp shining in his head that's screaming about a road trip. So, that's him.
That is 100% both myself, and yeah, I had a golden retriever as well called Tammy, but it was the same thing. Like I used to call her when I was like 6 or 7. I used to call her Nutso Dog at times. Because she had like an alter ego. There's one that was just food and love, and then 10 seconds later she'll be doing like figure of eights, spinning around, just running around for no reason. And then
they're nuts, man.
Yeah, and she was bigger than me at the time because I was only small when I was 7.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm on the ground, she's lying on top of me because she knew that I had to go to school. So
she didn't want to let you go.
She didn't want me to go, and it was just dead weight on top of me. I'm like, can't get off, but yeah.
Perfect. Golden retriever. Perfect animal.
So good.
Do you have a favorite song?
Geez, this changes every day or two.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd still probably have to say What's My Age Again, Blink-182 or Blink-182.
Okay, nice.
But that's purely for the fact that I think I'm going through that stage of life again, being like, wait, what is up? How am I an adult, and what is my age again? So yeah,
right. That transition of damn it, I gotta be more responsible.
Exactly. Yeah, responsible. What is that?
All right. So, what inspires you?
Oh, that is such a deep question. I think in general, being the best that I can be, sort of making sure that I'm living up to my potential. That's one thing.
Okay.
I have had a bit of like a rocky kind of, I'd say, few years at the moment. So, I went like in hospital and stuff last year, and you sort of have these like wake up calls, where it's like, wait, like, have I done the kinds of things that I should have done? That's something that I think it like motivates me, inspires me. Probably those people that are achieving like high things that aren't, I guess, being put down by other people. So they might be saying like, oh, this can't be done, that kind of thing. And then they go, well, if it's supposedly impossible and I've just done one thing that you said was impossible, then the next thing is possible, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think that's one thing that it's not just a single person as such, but just that mentality.
The drive, the focus to achieve things that people say are out of reach, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, basically, yeah.
So we're going to get into the fear effect questions now here.
Cool.
Starting with the first one, how did you come across this role?
Originally, I came across it on a website. It was being advertised that they wanted an Australian voice. And when I clicked on it, I didn't realize originally that it was Fear Effect. So I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I'll give it a go. Got the lines, had a go, and I'll admit that I didn't believe that I was going to get it. I thought, I'm like, surely there's going to be better actors out there that are going to have the right voice, the right tone, and it's just going to nail it. And yeah, so it was just online originally.
Okay, so you found it posted and just gave it a try.
Yeah, like, why not?
All right, so were you aware of Fear Effect before getting the part? Like, did you play it back in the day, or?
When I was younger, I did a little bit, but I didn't have the right console, so I had to go over to a friend's house a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that, 80s and 90s kid era problem. You're like, damn, I can't get it online, I can't play it. So yeah, I did know
hang
of
out
it.
at a friend's house.
Yeah, exactly. Just become friends because they've got the opposite like console to you.
Right.
So yeah, I did know of it. Unfortunately, I hadn't played it as much as I wanted to. But yeah, I definitely had seen like a lot more than a few people that I know. But one of my friends, as soon as I landed the gig and it was announced by like Sushi and whatever, It got to the point that as soon as it came up on Facebook and I was tagged in it, I reckon about 2 minutes after I was tagged in it, a friend from university even sent me a message being like, please do not F up my childhood.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's like,
a lot of people that take this personally.
Oh, so personally. And then it made me paranoid because he's just like, I believe in you. I've heard you do voices before. He's like, but all I'm saying is I am serious.
Nah, I've been playing since the original. You're going to do just fine.
Oh, thanks, man. I was thinking I was going to get lynched. So.
Nope, you sound exactly like him. You're going to be fine with it.
Awesome. Sounds good.
I would think, being the Deke is Australian, and then, fans that played the game back then have to love the fact that you have an Australian character in the game who's such a badass. And then you getting the part has to be like the people that know you, like you said, the one that reached out to you and basically told you don't screw this up. Yeah. They have to be proud of the fact that you're the one that gets to play this awesome part.
I think too, yeah, because he did sort of congratulate me on it, that's for sure. But I think too, because I did look up the actor before actually fully accepting the role, and that was very intimidating. I saw his list on IMDb, and I'm just like, yeah. But that was extremely a scary, eye-opening moment. But yeah, I think the authenticity of it is a key, especially these days when people like we're talking right now from 15,000 kilometers or actually further away. Yeah. Sorry, what's that? 10,000, 12,000 miles. And yeah, I think authenticity, because we've been exposed to those other accents, is a big thing now.
Yeah, definitely. It's so much easier and convenient to get to, experience things from around the world now with technology that this conversation we're having right now, I probably wouldn't have had 15 years ago. So or 10 years ago.
Or it'd take 6 months, you send me an audio or something or a script, and I send it back via cassette tape.
Yeah, exactly. Now these companies that are looking for specific types of actors to fill this role, it's so much easier because now that you can apply by just recording in your microphone and at home or in a booth somewhere and just sending it to them directly, and then there you go.
Exactly.
You get the part.
And kids, a cassette tape is like a little plastic box that has something inside it that spins around. I feel so old, but the other day someone, so my best mate he's a journalist. And he decided to wear one of those micro cassettes for the dictaphones around his neck, just as a random, not necessarily jewelry, but just a piece of a talking point. And he also did have a spare dictaphone that if he got desperate, he could stick it in and use it. But there was someone when he was at uni, they just looked at it and they're like, "What is that?"
What is that thing? Is that from the future?
Yeah, he's just it's a cassette tape. And they're like, what's a cassette? He's like, you are my age.
I know.
Why? If you don't know, surely no other generation has a chance.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Just to expand on that question before we go to the next one.
Sorry, yeah.
After you landed the role, did Sushi have you go back and watch a playthrough of the original and Retro Helix to get his attitude and tone down, or...?
Yeah, so I originally did that on my own as well, just to double check, because it was kind of the shock factor. I'm like, wait, I got it? Cool. Went through YouTube, watched different versions of Deke, and kind of was a little bit disturbed by the stereotype of the accent, so Croc Dundee. I will admit, I'm just like, wow, do we really sound like this to everybody else? But yeah, they did give me a little, a couple of pointers, being just make sure that this is the character, this is how he's presented, and yeah, it was fine. Once we got through that, I'm like, yep, cool, that sounds amazing. Hopefully I do the character justice.
Well, I think you nailed it, because they do have a few cutscenes in the demo that was released back in May.
Oh,
and it was just like playing the originals.
Oh, man, thank you so much. That's like a weight off my shoulders right there.
I am curious, what pointers did they give you? What was their notes to say, this is what he is?
Yeah, so I think originally I sounded a little too angry. Whereas they wanted him to be a bit more smart-assy, kind of the playful Aussie stereotype as well.
Right.
And yeah, because... obviously there has been a bit of, evolution of the character facially as well. So you can tell that he's not sort of, I don't know how to describe the original one, not balding and a little bit older than this one sort of looks.
Yeah.
He's a lot more slick and smooth, and I think that is what was wanted to be presented as well, that he was a bit more dynamic than he used to be. So
right.
Yeah, because in the original, I think not the original, Retro Helix, the second one. Yeah, he was more the comedic value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
well, he didn't have too much of time in the other game because things happened. Spoilers. I'm not going to jump into it, but things happened to him.
Yeah, we got a remake coming. We can't spoil it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on him? From what he was, like, give me your opinion on who Deke is as a character, and how has he changed since the last time we saw him?
I think, he still does have that comedic streak. I think he is, because there's a lot of chemistry between the characters. I'll give you that much, that's for sure. There's a bit of banter that goes on, and I think, it's more the slick kind of, a bit more, not necessarily cool as such, but he is cool. But the attitude comes across as well, which is pretty sweet.
Is he still... Before, sorry? I mean, he was a bit of a, he's an assassin, so he was a little cold-blooded.
Yeah.
He still had the comedy timing, the smart aleck.
Yeah.
But he was very ruthless.
Yeah.
When he was put to a task. Has he kept that carried over?
Yeah, there is I'm trying not to give away too much of the plotline. He's
right.
Definitely still has that streak through him, don't worry. He's kept very much to the original, especially when it comes to like personality-wise.
Oh, great. Perfect.
I gotta say, too, if Sushi ever decide to remake Retro Helix, it would be awesome to see you as Deke, and obviously Natalie as Hannah doing the intro scene where he introduces himself as Deke, and she's like, "Okay, Dick."
Yeah, I honestly, when I saw that part the first time, I'm like, this is perfect. I absolutely loved that. So yeah, I would be 100% up for that. And I honestly, if it came down to it, I'd love to see like this franchise as a movie, even, because it just is so cool that I can see that chemistry working as well, so like in a separate format to a game. But that, okay, Dick, just straight away, I'm like, perfect.
That actually is one of our questions on here.
Oh, really?
We can get into that. We'll skip ahead a little bit here. So, talking about the subject of a movie or maybe an animated series, give us your thoughts on that. Would you like to see this go to a movie or a series? And do you think there's potential there?
I definitely see the potential, and I would absolutely love it, to be honest.
Right.
So, to me, in a way, video games, I guess, in a sense, to me, are kind of like a movie. An animated series. For instance, at the moment, there's a few projects I've got that are going on that are animated series as well, but it kind of almost feels the same anyway. So with a computer game, you've got extra lines, you've got different scenes, you've got different, what would you say? Like alternative plots, in a sense.
Right.
Whereas a movie would just be one plot line, just continue straight across. But you have sort of like a pick a path kind of scenario when it comes to a game, which makes it a hell of a lot more entertaining as a voice actor as well, because you yourself know that there are so many different possibilities that you get to present all of those possibilities.
Right.
But I would absolutely love to see an animated series as well, because it's just so epic that why would you not want to watch it?
Yeah, and I think the characters, all of them to combine together, even, individual, if it were a series, they can get their own episodes, they can do things together.
Cool,
there is a lot of potential in the universe of Fear Effect that really can apply itself to just a bigger picture.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that it could definitely go well.
Well, that's what I said to Matthew the other day, too, because he was talking about the canceled one, Inferno. I was saying it would, if they want to remake that, it's fine, but I would love to see that adapted into either an animated movie or a series.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the plot lines and the storylines that have actually gone through the games previously as well would work as an animated series too. And
definitely.
Yeah, it's sort of, I don't know, like playing the game and seeing an animated series. They kind of go together anyway.
That's kind of funny when you think of it, because it was kind of like your reward for getting through those puzzles, the awesome cutscenes.
Yeah, the cutscenes were so well done. The writing was great. The voice acting was great.
Yep.
So, I mean, it lends it, like I said, perfectly to giving us a series or a movie behind it, because it's already there. You already got it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I would definitely love to see that.
What are your thoughts on the game's new gameplay direction with the isometric camera?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I actually really like it. When it comes down to it, so it's kind of, for me, I like tactical games. I like puzzles and things like that. Whereas, yeah, I think the isometric view is it's a good change in a way. And I hope that, people love the fact that it is a tactical game too, and still those puzzles and whatever, it's actually challenging. So,
it's very challenging.
Yeah, whereas a lot of games I've played recently, I kind of, especially if it's just like pew 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 pew, and you're done.
Just kind of hold your hand through it.
Exactly, yeah. And this one actually gives your brain a bit of a workout, and yeah, the change in the view, I'm sure that people that have played the game previously will still appreciate it and love it. So I guess it's a personal thing for each individual when they're actually playing the game as well.
I think it adds a different level of challenge and entertainment to it as well. The old one, with the fixed cameras, was very cinematic, and it was done that way because that was kind of the thing that everybody was doing at that time period. And that made it even more difficult because of, you had to work with these funky camera angles sometimes to fight enemies. So, you die a lot, and the puzzles were extremely challenging. So what they brought over is the puzzles are still great. But now you get to see everything from a top down, and like you said, it's more strategical, more tactical. You actually have to kind of plan your attack. You know what's coming up, so you have to adjust your attack accordingly.
Exactly, and I think it's a pretty cool concept. And even when you think about it, back in the day, what we all played, we had to all have played GoldenEye 007. That's just like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
You
have to.
That's a given. I'm not even going to ask you if you guys have ever played it before. But that sort of like single person view as well. We all know how hard that was. Like someone could come around the corner, and all of a sudden you're being like karate chopped, and you're just like, wait, where the hell did that even come from? It's just the red down the screen.
You couldn't aim down the sights either. You just had to hip fire the whole time.
Exactly. You're just like, where is this? So I think this top view down, it's kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, because I'm excited by it because you can see everything, and you actually do have the option of planning and plotting it out rather than just taking a guess at what's going on and then dying, I guess. So yeah.
Well, this is a very team-oriented and squad-oriented, team-oriented. You're with partners most of the time.
Yep.
So you're not running through this as yourself. You're running with other teammates.
Yep.
That you like you said, you got to plan accordingly. Okay, if I have enemies over here and there's cover to the right and cover to the left, I can send one character right, one character left, and we can hit them in the crossfire.
Yep. And you said that you have military experience as well, so I'm guessing you probably appreciate the fact that you realize that you're not alone when it comes to these scenarios too, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice to have members there with you. So
that's fair. Yeah, nobody likes to be alone, especially if you're being shot at, I guess.
I just thought it was kind of funny because it's almost like the Lara Croft spin-off games, the isometric ones.
Nice, yeah, cool.
But kind of on steroids.
Right. Bumped up and better.
Yep. I just got a really weird version of Tomb Raider buffed up in my head, just like the incredible Hulk Raider.
Right, and her little pink tank top and shorts.
Jeez, yeah.
That might be awkward.
That's not Laura, but we'll go with it.
This object's on top of that pillar. I'm just going to rip the pillar out of the ground.
She's going to go all Chris Redfield.
You got to climb. Laura smash.
Oh, it's so good. She goes to squeeze the trigger of the gun, and the gun just turns into dust.
just collapse in her hand. You have better luck throwing it at somebody. Awesome. So how do you feel Sedna compares to the originals? I know we kind of a little bit back and forth on that, but in your thoughts, going back and playing and seeing the original to what it's become, do you think it's still very familiar?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. It pays homage to the older versions of it, but it's definitely comparable when it comes to, I guess, the plot lines, the setup, and I think it does it justice pretty well too.
What I've seen, the soundtrack is on point because they brought back the original composer, right?
Yeah, which is pretty epic because How many games can be rebooted and have members of the original team? That's pretty awesome.
Right, exactly.
That's
exactly.
really true.
And the I think this is the right word, thematically.
Yeah.
The theme of it, everything fits. Like the cutscenes are beautiful, voice acted, animated. It just feels completely like Fear Effect. You're isometric now, but the environments still feel very much like Fear Effect.
Yep.
The enemies, how they respond when they get shot or taken out, it's all there. The technology, it feels like it to me. So
yeah, no, that's great because like the actual creators, so like Sushi, when it came down to it, they were obsessed with it when they were younger as well. So, well, when they were younger, I don't want to make them sound old now, but they're not that old. But yeah, they wanted to do it justice, and I think when it's something so personal and like there's a love for it right there, that it basically was never going to fail. Like it was always going to be like a passion project, no matter what happened. Yeah. And when you're passionate about something, it'll work.
You'll do whatever it takes to make it perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's
actually why I'm happy it's an independent title, because the AAA games that have been coming out, sure, they have big teams and they have a lot of money behind them, but smaller teams put a lot more passion in.
Oh, so much. And you can actually, you feel it when you see it, because as you said, like the graphics are so beautiful. Like the cutscenes are set up so well that they've spent so much time on it that it's just insanely good now compared to just throw it together.
Either like when you're in the environment, you could actually see like little animations in the background, little touches here and there. It just shows how much of attention to detail was put into this.
So much, yeah. And it's kind of one of those things, like you can play the game multiple times and you'll still see new things because they've put so much in it.
Right. That was one of the big things about the original games. What was kind of revolutionary in the way they made it was you had animated backgrounds. It wasn't pre-rendered stuck images. Yeah. Things were going on. So it's, and now we're at the point now where the games, like you said, they're just basically living movies. Everything interacts, and your characters, if they're walking close to the wall, they put their hand, touch the wall, or they knock things off.
Yep.
This is downscaled to a smaller, not so big AAA, but it's still very much all that Fear Effect with everything going on around you.
Yeah, which is, still makes it feel that way too, like original, awesome feeling.
So we talked about if Fear Effect were to get its own movie or series.
Yep.
Here's another question similar to that. How would you feel about Deke getting his own game?
That would be epic. I definitely would not say no. That's a very Australian way of putting it, in a double negative. I would be absolutely psyched by it. I would still love to see, if that was the case, I'd still love to see the other characters in it at some point.
Right.
Because you do have that banter and that chemistry between them.
Right.
And I have a feeling, sort of, as we discussed before, that it's like, okay, Dick, like that kind of, that interaction, that maybe if sort of like Hannah and like other characters weren't there, maybe there's the potential that he could just look like a dick. Because it's sort of, yeah, exactly. Like he might be having a bit of fun, having a bit of a joke, and someone just looks at him thinking he's serious, and it could just be awkward.
We've all had that.
Oh my god,
it's kind of similar to that scene in Sedna, the demo that was released. Deke, Hannah, and Rain all meet up, and they're getting ready for a mission. And Deke looks over at Hannah, and she's like, "Don't even look at her."
Exactly.
I mean, the Deke's a little bit of a hound.
Oh my god, is he ever? I still, when I was going through, like, Sushi had sent us all like the links and everything onto the pages, and then I looked at Deke's sort of like the character profile. I'm like, this is so good, because all the others are sort of just not innocent, but they're kind of just whatever myself. And then I look down at Deke, and he's just laying on a bed with two girls on top of him. I'm like,
yep.
Oh, yeah. And
see, he's got so many levels to him. Like, being the fact that he came from being an assassin, his attitude, his characteristics, his love of women and money.
He's not firing
things that are.
He's not firing blanks in any way, shape, or form.
No, so he would lend himself very well to a good Origins game.
I reckon too. That'd be so good.
All right, so before we go into the final stuff, recently at Gamescom, it was announced that Sushi is remaking Fear Effect 1. if you were given the chance, would you come back to play Deke?
Oh, I would definitely do it. That's for sure. I've had, like, when it comes down to it, I've had such an amazing experience with Sushi and the team, like the other voice actors as well, that it's been so enjoyable that there's no way that I could even think of saying no.
Right.
And to continue on, because I always believe in continuity as well. So, for instance, when it comes down to changing characters' voices, I feel weird about that. So even as a passion project, I'm passionate about continuity, and I'm passionate about the game. It's definitely a yes. Yeah.
Right. It's always off-putting to change voice actors, and if it's a drastic change, like talking with Natalie, she put a lot of work into when she was, casting you guys and bringing you on board to matching you as closely as possible to the original voice actors. And it would be weird to literally play Sedna and then next year play Fear Effect Reinvented, and then have a different actor in there. So
I understand.
We see that you guys obviously love these characters. You love the series. You love working with Sushi. So we're pulling, for all of you to make it into, if they do redo the voice acting, which I don't see why they wouldn't. Who knows what they'll end up doing with Square Enix and Sushi, but I hope that they bring you guys back to all, basically reclaim your characters.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. That sounds sweet.
That's like I was saying before. If we're doing this remake, it needs to be done right. And right now, the actors that we have on the game, they are perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. That's so good to hear.
And I trust Sushi. I think that, like you said, they're passionate about it. They love the game. They're making it for the right reasons. So,
well, the thing is, they love the fans too. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but sure, the amount of effort that they put into making sure that everything, like when what was it, the first release of like those, I guess like a slow leak on Steam and things like that. They listened to the fans so much that we were getting notes as well about, okay, we're going to do this, make sure that like we've taken this advice from this fan and all this. And they actually did make sure that everybody was having either input into it or actually their thoughts were heard, which is pretty amazing because I don't know of many companies, like not necessarily just computer game or animation companies, but any company in general that listens to people as much as Sushi have.
That's true.
Yeah, I like that. That's obviously they care about it. So
yeah, for sure.
On that kind of talking about that, were you allowed, like, you're saying listening to input, did you have any input on your side that they took into consideration, or were you just basically like, I'm on board, whatever you want, make me do it?
Well, I admit I did email Sushi a few times, and we were going back and forward, and I did discuss it with them a few times, mostly because obviously being an Australian, I didn't want to sound like stereotypical or because I can't hear it as much as everybody else can, because obviously it's normal for us. I emailed them, had a bit of input, and made sure that the character, I was actually rounding sort of his voice off properly rather than trying to leave any loose ends or this doesn't sound right. Okay. But yeah, we did. Yeah, we definitely had a bit of input when it comes to, I guess, making sure things were perfect.
Right, and I'm sure there's some naturalization, like some phrases and the way you guys talk that was different probably from what they were writing.
Yeah, well, I guess, being a French company, they were also making sure that they're going, hey, is this like the way it would be said? Is this actually, real to how you would say it? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we all helped each other in that sense, which it felt really good because it was definitely a team. Like none of us were isolated. We all had involvement in pretty much all of the character development too.
It sounds like a really good team.
It was amazing.
Sushi's very small, which is nice because it's very contained, and everybody's there, like I said, for the right reasons. And then Natalie going out and finding the perfect cast. All of you guys seem to have clicked very well, and have really nailed your parts down. And you see it, the camaraderie, come through personally because you guys know each other. You've worked together. You've done this together. So that carries over into the game, and the game basically carries back over into you guys, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny too when you see the images how much the characters look like the voice actors or vice versa.
Yeah.
I had someone message me the other day, and she's just like, "This is really kind of weird, but why do you all look like the characters? I'm like, I don't know. I can't grow a beard just yet. Like, it's still not coming out. It's just, I need to grow one properly. But yeah, if we all did that, I just imagine us going to like Comic-Con or something cool like that, and instantly
dressing up in character. That'd be cool.
Dressing up as it, but at the same stage, not really having to do much facially, because that's
Well, even I remember Deke from before. He always seemed shorter. He was muscular, but at the same time, he wasn't like ripped. He was a bigger guy. He was
dad bod.
Wasn't like toned, but he was big.
Yeah.
But then looking at him now, like I was just checking out the demo again the other day. I was like, he looks taller. He looks slimmer. So either he's been working out or something.
He's had a bit of a midlife crisis then, I think. He's gone had those implants in the hair and
he's
worked out.
Life, right?
Yeah. Got a few of those what do you call it? The shoe implants that like boost you up a little bit.
Yeah, make it a little bit taller.
Yeah, do a bit taller and
eating more vegetables. Working out.
So good.
So on to you. Are there any projects you're working on that you want us to keep an eye out for?
I do have a few projects at the moment. Some of them though are unreleased and not yet to be discussed, unfortunately. So we've got to that's always the frustrating thing.
Your NDAs.
Oh god, it's just like I just want to say it. But yeah, I guess when it comes down to it, I always post things on social media if I'm doing a project that's being released or if something's come up that I can talk about. But yeah, there are a few projects at the moment and pretty top secret, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well, that brings us into the next one. It's where can the fans follow you on social media?
Oh, okay, cool.
Keep an eye out for these things.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I do have a Facebook page at the moment. It's a bit of a long name, unfortunately. So it's Michael Osborne, presenter, scientist, yada yada. Yeah, I know, right? Because
that is a little bit long.
It's way too long. I need to shorten it somehow. But there's too many Aussies out there. That's the problem.
Yes, this is true. You might get confused with like the Aussie.
That's a very good point. Other than that, I'm just not going to be biting off any bats heads anytime soon. That's for sure. Don't worry. Other than that, like my Instagram page is Osventure Time.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. It was weird because I to start off with, I just was like, this sounds like kind of cool, and then I kept getting compliments about it from random people. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's not taking. You're like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's just fun. I'm like, I thought it was going to be. I definitely thought it was going to be gone. So yeah, Osventure Time on Instagram, and I've got links. So for instance, multiple different formats, but yeah, I can definitely be found, especially from that to all the others.
Okay, we're going to post those links in the description of the video.
Cool.
So
thanks.
anybody who wants to go follow you so they can keep up with you.
Cool,
and,
cheers.
They'll be able to go in there and click and follow.
Brilliant, that sounds amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, whatever we can do to support. I know a lot of business takes place on social media. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that could be the determining factor of whether or not you actually get a job sometimes.
Yeah, actually,
your
very
reach
true.
with the fan base.
Very, very true, yeah.
Plus, it's it's just a good way for people to show their support for you. Keep up to date, but also, throw out the likes and stuff, so.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds great. It's interesting too these days, like how important social media is when it comes to work. Yeah. So yeah, that's great.
Use it responsibly.
All right. So, do you have any parting words for the fans?
Parting words. That sounds like we're dying. Hopefully, nobody's dying at the moment. That's
made me all Jeff's fault.
Yeah, I know, right? It made me feel sad for a second. Then, parting words. I guess, give us your thoughts and opinions on like everything that's going on. Hopefully, you guys love the game. I'm sure you will. And I thank you for having me on the show, on the podcast, and. Yeah, I can't wait for it to be released later in the year. Like I am just as edgy about it as I'm sure most of the fans are. But hopefully, you'll see us in the future with different games and hopefully Comic-Cons and et cetera, et cetera.
Definitely. Well, we're looking forward to it, and we're really glad we had you on here. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you. You
it's
too.
Nice to hear the voice that brings Deke to life and get to know a little bit about you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me. It's been epic.
That will conclude our episode for today. I would like to thank Michael for taking the time to chat with us, and if you would like to follow Michael on social media, I'll leave the links down below. If you enjoyed this episode of the ROE Podcast, please leave a like and subscribe for more. The Residents of Evil is a Patreon-supported channel, so if you would like to help support the channel and get some cool perks in return, head over to patreon.com/ROE Network. You can follow the Residents of Evil on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to find out who our upcoming guests will be. Links will be down below. And this podcast was brought to you by our Masters of Unlocking. This is our highest Patreon tier level. Dustin Lewis, Kendo Gunshot, Santiago Alcantara, Trent Overton, Proxy One, and Chris Lambert. Thank you all so much for your support. And thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you back at the Residents of Evil.